The Formula One 2025 season is officially going down to the wire because the Las Vegas Grand Prix has detonated a twist nobody saw coming. If the pun points to explosion, then one team surely did. McLaren's superstar duo Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris were shockingly disqualified hours after the race, and just like that, the race for the championship has been ripped wide open. Max Verstappen, who many had declared finished in this title race, is right back in the mix. And now Formula One has a three-way fight heading into its final stretch. So what exactly triggered this double disqualification, and how much has the title battle changed? Does Max Verstappen suddenly have the clearest path to a comeback nobody saw coming? Let me break it all down for you. Now, the Las Vegas Grand Prix was not just another race on the calendar. It was expected to be that turning point of this season, the third last race and potentially the one that could have sealed the title for Lando Norris. The hype, massive. The stakes, enormous. The attention, off the charts, with even FBI Director Kash Patel and Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem in attendance. But Vegas isn't just about glamour, it's about unpredictability, and that came and was delivered in abundance. From the very start, Vegas 2025 felt wacky. A manhole cover came loose, two red flags broke the rhythm of practice, multiple yellows disrupted qualifying, and the weekend turned into a wild mix of wet, greasy patches and bumpy straights. It was chaotic, and a real test of the nerves, concentration levels, and a fight for survival. Through it all, one man stood above the rest, Lando Norris. He outdrove everyone, even Max Verstappen, the rain master. Norris took pole, he controlled the pace, he finished second, a critical podium, placing him firmly ahead in the title race. Now, on the surface, it was a dream weekend for McLaren, until it wasn't, because 4 hours after the race, just as the champagne oozed out, just as the title looked within touching distance, McLaren were rocked by the biggest bomb. Both Norris and Piastri disqualified, wiped out, erased from the points because they failed the mandatory post-race skid block inspection. The reason was plank violation. Now, what's that? The plank is a mandatory 10mm board under the car. It is designed to limit ride height and prevent the teams from running dangerously low, close to the track, to gain that speed. FIA rules are very strict here. As per the rule book, it cannot wear down more than 1mm over the course of a race. Now, what does that look like? About 9mm. It can't go below, which is the thickness of this pencil, or a stack of 12 ATM cards, if you put that out. That's how much gap has to be there between that bottom part of the car and the racetrack. But McLaren's cars showed excessive wear. Norris's plank was over 0.12mm, Piastri well above 0.26mm. The world was in shock as the most unbelievable scenes played out just with few races left, because this has happened, but especially in the current scenario and within hours of completion. Pings, alerts rang out with the strangest turn of events. Drivers were clearly stunned and distraught, and McLaren, a team in striking distance of a world championship, failed on a fundamental technical check. Now, unintentional, yes. Costly, absolutely. Avoidable, absolutely yes. Now, let me explain this here. The main reason for the difference in that plank came down to excessive wear and tear. We know how this works. Now, let's look at the setup. In qualifying, McLaren had opted for a more loaded aerodynamic setup, heavier rear. Let's look at the conditions. Now, the race itself was held in relatively dry conditions, unlike what happened during practice and qualifying, which was wet, challenging, slippery, which led to the critical lack of foresight rather than an outright error by McLaren. Because, as Andrea Stella admits during the race, the greater grip produced thanks to the setup itself created greater vertical load, which means excessive scraping. The turns at certain point also didn't help, and the fact that they had not carried out long run simulations on slick tires meant you couldn't really foresee the miscalculation that ultimately could occur which is what happened. Now, sure, this has happened in the past. It's happened with Ferrari, and the team had limited time to change this or do anything else just before the race. However, unfortunately, the result is this. The race for the driver's title is now split wide open. Championships don't care about excuses. And in Formula One, opportunities like these don't come every year. Before Las Vegas, Verstappen was a long shot, a mathematical possibility rather than a genuine contender. But the moment McLaren slipped, Max Verstappen now smells blood. Here's what the standings now look like after this. Verstappen is level with Piastri. Both Piastri and Verstappen are now just 24 points behind Norris, with 58 points still up for grabs now. And momentum is on one side only, Max Verstappen's. Because while Norris and Piastri walked away devastated from Vegas, Verstappen left emboldened. This is the same Verstappen who was buried earlier this season beneath Red Bull's political turmoil, Christian Horner's exit, and a car that struggled to match McLaren's raw pace. But since the Italian Grand Prix in September, Max has clawed his way back. Quietly, consistently, doggedly. And now he walks into Qatar as the hunter with nothing to lose. And a relaxed Verstappen is a dangerous Verstappen. He only needs to look back at 2021 for inspiration, when he defeated Lewis Hamilton by just 8 points in one of the most dramatic season enders ever. 4 years on, he has another chance to steal a title that seemed out of his reach. 2 races to go, 3 drivers in contention, one of the tightest finales in modern F1. Norris still leads, but now has to overcome the mental battles that Vegas scarred him with. Piastri must fight back after the worst gut punch of his career. And Verstappen, well, he's smiling, smelling opportunity. And Max Verstappen with momentum is one of the most unstoppable forces this sport has ever seen.
I was a revolutionary. I became a ruler. I claimed to protect my people. I terrorized them instead. I built palaces. I started wars. I lost everything. Some called me a defender of Arab pride. History remembers me as a dictator. Who am I? They promised glory. They delivered fear. They shaped nations. They scarred generations. From brutal purges to propaganda machines, from stolen power to violent falls from the throne. Welcome to The Dictator, a series that strips away the myth and then exposes the men behind the tyranny. History remembers their power. Firstpost reveals their truth.